HIV patients who do not have TB, we also place them on what we call isoniazid preventing therapy to make sure that they don't come down with TB.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Lawanson, for coming on Health Options.
Okay, thank you very much.
I have been speaking with Dr. Adebola Lawanson, the National Coordinator, TB and Leprosy Control Program, Federal Ministry of Health. Moving on now, arthritis is a joint disorder featuring inflammation, causing pain and stiffness that can worsen with age. Let's go over now to our nature scanner for a peep on medicinal plants available for the management of arthritis.
Arthritis is a very common condition in our environment and has been misunderstood by a lot of people, such that some people, when they have slight symptoms or pains, that they should actually see their doctor. They begin to say, I have arthritis, and then a lot of people also think that once you are old, any pain that you have is an arthritic pain. That's not really what it is. Commonly, arthritis is joint pains. That is the common way to say it. There are several types of arthritis. There are about 100 types of arthritis. There's arthritis that has to do with joints. There's arthritis there's even what infectious arthritis that is as a result of infection. It might not really be at the point of bones joining together, but that there is an infection that results in inflammation. We have worked on so many plants because the truth is, when you look at our environment, and I mean our environment here, you see a lot of plants at our backyards that have what we call secondary constituents or phytoconstituents, okay, biological constituents, biomolecules that have the ability to take care of arthritis. What I'm holding, for example, is aloe vera, and everybody knows aloe vera, and it's a very good plant for arthritis. I am not saying that you should go and drink aloe vera if you have arthritis, but what I'm saying is that this plant, you can grow it anywhere in our environment. So our job in this era of modern science and technology, is to get minimal resources to convert this to the form that it can now be that people can access, so that people don't need to go to bush and cut the plant. All they need is a aloe vera tablet, aloe vera capsule, aloe vera syrup for them to use in taking care of their arthritis. I'll show you another one, which is very popular. Ginger. Everybody knows ginger. People drink ginger, and that is why we promote nature's approach to use of medicines. So any medicine that I'm telling you here, that we are presenting to you, that we are discussing here, are natural. In fact, they are like your food. We now take this to the lab. We do our studies using animals. Then we come up with the dose that is now useful to man. It is in that when you now see our capsule or tablet or syrup or powder in that natural form, it is now it now has specific dose that study has been done on. That's the point I made. So it's the same with ginger. We have red ginger, white ginger, and it's the same with turmeric. There was a time on this program we talked some time ago about turmeric and ginger, and we said how turmeric, for example, has been used for years, and in its natural form, very potent against cancer. In the same way, it has our studies in the lab on animals and human primates. We have proven that it has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties. It is that anti-inflammatory property that is useful in the management or treatment of arthritis. I specifically had to bring this one out today for you to see what we can do from the back of our house. No matter the type of pains that you have, All you need to do is to rub gently, mildly on that area. You will have serious relief or have these things available in our own communities that we can use. So this is nature's own way of ensuring that arthritis is properly taken care of. We have dwelt seriously on the drug treatment or management of arthritis. It's also important to say here and to advise us that it is good to also prevent these things, because there's this saying that prevention is better than cure. Prevention is not only better than cure. The truth is that ultimately prevention is cheaper than cure. So some of the factors that are responsible for people developing arthritis, as much as possible, if you know such things, you reduce your activity or you prevent them. For example, your lifestyle. It is proven that there's a certain lifestyle that favors development of arthritis. Smoking has been proven to be a factor in development of arthritis. So people who genetically are predisposed to having arthritis, and you are a smoker again, then you are liable to arthritis. Now, sedentary lifestyle, because being overweight is implicated in arthritis. Therefore, you need to ensure that you don't get obese, you don't get overweight, because your weight on your joints, will help in the development of arthritis. So then there are certain, food that we should, as much as possible, especially once your doctor has diagnosed you of arthritis, there are food that are rich in uric acid. Purine is a product of cell metabolism and eventual conversion to uric acid. Uric acid, yes, is useful in the body, but excess of uric acid, which is not being removed from the body, could lead to accumulation, and then it will result to arthritis, inflammation of the joints, swelling, and what we call gout will develop. So it's important, therefore, that people ensure that they are not sedentary in lifestyle. You undertake regular exercise. You avoid overweight or weight gain, and then you eat good food, balanced diet of rich in vegetables and fruits all of the time, and then drink a lot of water. There won't be a side effect as a result of drinking of water.
Now, being humanitarian means to have values and an understanding of human situations, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, and social status. Meet our health champion.
Manage this, in a few days, let's pray for God to give us what we're expecting.
Turning ideas into tangible change daily may not be an easy task, but for Uju Kennedy, sponsor of Kenu's Shower of Love, a charity initiative, genuine commitment, sacrifice, the ability to give and show love to the less privileged is what she craves and finds fulfillment in. A habit she has nurtured from childhood.
Even as a child, if I go to church with my mom and I'm giving money for offering, I give it out to beggars before I enter the church. I've always believed in that because I feel the church gets enough. While those out there, they need help. I believe in helping. So many people are suffering. And now you ask yourself, how does God answer those prayers? Is he going to come down from heaven to answer the prayers? No. God must use somebody to answer the prayers. So I volunteered myself to God. And I said,
with challenges in the Nigerian healthcare system and many lacking access due to financial and economic constraint, Mrs. Kennedy has interest in offsetting hospital bills for needy patients, building and equipping healthcare facilities for deserving communities, and all this in a bid to help indigent persons.
I've given out dialysis machines to Annunciation Hospital. Is a Catholic hospital in Enugu, and then at the health center. But the important thing is that I carry out research to know those villages that really need these things and that will benefit from it. So the joy in this whole thing is those things get into the right places at the right time, and for people that really will benefit from it.
No doubt an angel to those who have benefited from her compassion. She says she wants to reach out more. But how far does she intend to project this passion?
Kenuj is somebody known to the hospital, a very great philanthropist. She comes to National Hospital from time to time to assist the patients. She puts her money in our account to help patients. She actually be bringing a lot of patients to the hospital too. Very serious cases, that needs a lot of intervention, and she pays for them.
Thank you, Ma. And may the Almighty God continue to make you to be more than this.
Thank you very much.
With calls for support and partnership for the good of society, Uju Kennedy has words for those who can help.
What do you need in life? How much food do you eat? Even your children, what is it they need that you're packing all that and depriving the less privileged? When you ask yourself some certain questions, you will know it's out of love from God that you are, whoever you are. Then the little you can do for God is to go back there and allow Him to use you to answer prayers. You start touching lives.
Hope you have been inspired. This is the size of our package for this week. You can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of these and other episodes, and email us for your comments and contributions at healthoptions@nta.gov.ng. Thank you for investing your time with us. My name is Rabi Abdullah. See you again.
Sector. He was speaking during the inauguration of new members of the boards of 4 agencies under the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. The agencies are the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency, NGSA, Council of Nigerian Mining Engineers and Geoscientists, COMEG, Nigerian Metallurgical Development Center, NMDC, and the National Steel Raw Materials Exploration Agency. Mr. Emabasi was appointed chairman of the NGSA board, while Chief Godspower Okoye and Barrister Sebastian Ibezim will chair COMEG and NMDC boards respectively. The Steel Raw Materials Exploration Agency board will now be chaired by Dr. Yomi Fini. While inaugurating the board, Dr. Fayemi said it is important for the new appointees to bring their wealth of experience to bear on their agencies to move the mining industry forward, in line with the economic recovery and growth plan of the federal government.
I therefore call on all concerned to study and strictly adhere to the laid down laws that have clearly defined the roles and responsibilities of the board members. We have made available to all chairmen and board members the Nigerian Mining and Minerals Act 2007, the mining laws that oversees the sector. We've also made available the mining policy, the mining guidelines, and other relevant documents that we believe would be of assistance to introducing yourself to the sector if you are not already familiar with the sector.
Speaking on behalf of the newly inaugurated chairman, Mr. Emabasi expressed gratitude for the opportunity given them to serve, saying that they will perform their duties diligently and lawfully.
And we must all be appreciative to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for thinking it wise and deeming it fit to get also appointed to help in driving the administration to some good notes.
Earlier in his opening remarks, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Abdul Qadir Muazu, noted that whilst the board will not be involved in the day-to-day running of the agencies, they are expected to provide policy direction.
I wish to remind you that governing boards of parastatals are part-time boards. They are not executive boards, and they are constituted to provide policy direction for achieving the mandates of the various agencies as provided in their respective acts. The day-to-day running of the agencies rests with the respective management teams of the various agencies. I also wish to remind us that boards are supposed to report directly to the Honorable Minister.
Other dignitaries at the event include one-time Minister of Solid Minerals, Alhaji Sharafa Tunji Ishola, Member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Abdullahi Usman, and President of Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society, Professor Silas Dada.
The push for adequate data generation is a key mandate of the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development. The understanding is that the first thing an investor wants to know is the occurrence of mineral deposits and their locations. Our next segment on the issues takes a look at what the ministry is doing to make data readily available, especially through the Nigerian Geological Survey Agency.
That information on your fingertips.
The front room of the Nigeria Geological Survey Agency displays several solid mineral samples, evidence of past surveys, storing vital information that should interest investors interested in mining. Why then is it that when the challenges militating against the development of the mining sector are being cited, the non-availability of geoscientific data comes up? What is the true position of Nigeria when it comes to geoscientific data to support mining?
I think I have to correct one impression. It's not really the absence. All these things I've told you have been activities of the Geological Survey providing data. So what we'll rather say is that we've not gotten to the level that we are competitive globally. So we are working towards that. And definitely, one of the areas that we are emphasizing is this generation of data. And one of the challenges we've had in the past is inconsistency of policies. Oftentimes, different administrations have come with their own different areas of preference. It may not be mining, it may be some other place. And because of that, the funding profile for the sector has been very abysmal.
The Nigeria Geological Survey Agency is the body tasked, amongst other things, to provide geoscientific data to support mining activities, a task they have been performing since pre-colonial times. The successes of the NGSA are what gave Nigeria the first boom in solid mineral mining decades ago.
By next year, 2019, the Geological Survey will be a century, that is 100 years old. And Geological Survey was actually instrumental to the discovery of a lot of the minerals that Nigeria depended on pre-independence. That is the tin, the columbite, the gold, the limestone, the coal, and many others. So basically, the Geological Survey was established to ensure that mineral resources of Nigeria are properly captured.
Of truth, the availability of adequate geological data can easily point an investor to where the minerals are deposited. The Ministry of Mines and Steel Development is aware of this fact and is making concerted effort to increase the quality and volume of geological data. But generating geological data is capital intensive and follows a number of processes.
Geological data involves a wide range of activities. Let me start with airborne data. Airborne data involves flying an aircraft at a particular altitude clearance. And within the aircraft, you have sensors that gives you either the density or the conductivity or the magnetic susceptibility of minerals and rocks that are not only on the surface, but are buried deep down the earth. This is one aspect. And of course, after the airborne data, you need to do ground truthing, what we call ground truthing. You need to go and verify whether the anomalies you have seen in the air is represented on ground. Then you can do geophysical surveys.
As part of efforts to indicate Nigeria's readiness to compete in the global mining world, the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development recently retrieved and represented the electromagnetic survey results prepared some years ago. What exactly does this mean, and what added benefit will this add to the Nigerian mining jurisdiction?
The fact that we have secured 26,000 line kilometers of EM data is a move in the right direction, and I am
Good morning and welcome to Vacancy. This morning, we're talking about something that has really become an issue of consideration by employers of labor, employees, and administrators and HR managers. It's the issue of religion. Religion in the workplace, religion in our labor environment, and religion in our labor market. People have either taken their religiosity and whatever religion they're practicing, and they've now used it as a yardstick for determining the things that they do, how they do them, when they do them in the workplace. You find some people who say, I have to wear a hijab to work. And the people say, you can't wear that to work. The work determines how you dress. Sometimes you find that some people fill their CVs and do not write their religion because they don't want to make that an issue. But some people insist on either employing a Christian or a Muslim. I'm sure if you have an employee who, in the place of religion, writes pagan, you'll be worried about the person's spirituality. There's some people who don't work on Saturdays, and some Christians who would not work on Sundays. I was talking with my guest from this show this morning, and I mentioned that there was a time that some people say they can't play football on Sundays because of their religion. Since they work, playing football is work, then they consider playing football on Sunday as work. The drivers too who can't work on Sundays. These days you find there are people who go to work and are forced to be part of morning service. Or they invite a pastor who comes to the place to bless everyone, even when they don't practice the same religion. Friday prayers now start on Thursdays because some people don't come to work on Fridays in some ministries. Are we substituting religion for productivity? So to join me this morning, I have Benga Totoyi. He's going to help us shed more light on this. Benga, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be
Well
here.
done. Thanks once again for coming. So we're talking about the good, the bad, and the unacceptable. Yeah. We also have, last time that you came, talked about people who come to the office wearing the banner of their church.
Yes.
Because the pastor said they must wear it everywhere.
Okay.
And the company is saying, no, you can't wear that to work.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do we draw the line?
I mean, I think it's important to first acknowledge the fact that our country is, it's one that religion plays a very, very strong role. Okay. But then there has to be that clear line that separates your religious expectations from your expectation for productivity at work. Because let's be sincere, some of the financial commitments you make to your faith-based organizations also comes from your earnings either as an employee or as a business owner. So that God will not have you do things that are illegal or not accepted in your place of work, all under the cover of religion. I think that's one thing we need to state very clearly. And every employer has that right to demand that you are first productive and result-oriented in his or her place of work before you're even expecting to receive payments or whatever it is. And that you love or serve God should even make you a bit more productive while at work, not an excuse for laziness or crappy work.
Okay. If you work in an organization where you're Muslim, and then they have the morning devotion, maybe the MD just discovered that he has some issues with EFCC, or with any other person, or maybe they've done contracts, the contracts are not yet coming to pray, and they need to pray for those things, and then they bring. Should you be part of those? Because at that point it would look like for the whole benefit of the organization.
Yes.
So, should you be part of that kind of?
Again, the issue is diversity in the workplace. So from employee to employer, or when we discuss the subject of diversity at work, it speaks to both sex and religion. So as I'm coming in, I'm able to tell you, hey, I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm a pagan. You should respect that and also tell me your position as an employer of labor on religion issues. That should also affect the issue of sex, and I know later on we'll get into that. So what that means is, if we're having anything to do as an organization, as an employee, I should respect, so we come into a meeting, there's something that has to do with the organization, we need to pray about it. Yes, I can stay in there as a Muslim, and someone prays in a Christian manner. I don't have to say amen or do things that you'll expect me to do as a Christian. I don't have to, and you shouldn't force me to. The same way, if I'm asked to pray and I pray as a Muslim, I don't have to force you to respond appropriately.
Because if there's an activity or an event, and they say come and pray, you just pray. But sometimes when you call some Muslims to pray, they would not say the words in Arabic. They will pray in English.
Enough for others to understand and respond in a certain way.
And respond.
What we've even seen is in some other places, people would respect the two religions, two major religions, and say, hey, if someone has prayed in Muslim and in Islamic manner, someone should pray as a Christian and vice versa. And that's fair. And that's fair.
Okay. In some other workplaces, they've started providing prayer rooms.
Yes.
And then should it be meeting? Should it be fairness if every organization has a prayer room? Because the Christians can pray anywhere, as I understand, but the Muslims need a prayer room.
Then again, I think it's the issue of the organization respecting the kind of people they have in the organization.
Or depending on the number.
Or the number and some of this. And even your size as an organization. Not everyone is your Googles of this world that can even provide you a sleep room.
NTA has a massive prayer ground here.
It's interesting, right? Okay. Again, our environment can allow for that. But if by virtue of a business expansion, NTA needs to take over that capacity, then the Christians and the Muslims within NTA, earning their pay within NTA, must respect that business decision and not turn against NTA for being against God.
For some, the reason for having prayer room is that if the people need to go pray in the nearby mosque, the downtime.
And that works. That works. But point is, if the organization can afford to. And if you work in an organization where, to an extent, you can't, maybe because of the work demands and stuff like that. For instance, if you are a stockbroker, the time you have to pray on a Friday, you should be on the trading floor.
Yes, on the trading floor.
My knowledge is not complete, but I will assume that if you miss that prayer during that time, you should be able to make it up later on in the day.
Most often, Muslims pray 5 times a day. And so, if you're a stockbroker, truly, you will have issues.
You will have issues with that on a Friday. And I would expect that the demands of that religion should understand and make provision for you to tweak it a little bit on a Friday.
What about dress code?
Dress code is a very, very interesting one as well. If I run an organization and I employ a Muslim, and you're a practicing Muslim, and you have to wear your hijab on a Friday, or every day of the week, all well and good. But we've seen cases where, say, in an hospital, or in some organizations where what you wear is sensitive to what you do, then that becomes an issue. Hospitals, security organizations, if your demands of your job would not allow it, then I expect you, as someone who believes in God, that respects legality and your constitutions and all of that, to respect that demand. Go start your own business or go work somewhere else that can be accepted. But that you would not do certain things at work, that then becomes a productivity issue. And as an employer, I can take you on that.
Okay. We're still talking religion in the labor market, Nigerian labor market, religion, the good, the bad, and unacceptable. We'll be back after this break. Well done and welcome back. We're on vacant. When you're employing, and we're discussing done in the labor market. Now, to the point of employment.
Okay.
When you're employing, is it wrong for an employer to say we are employing only Christians, or we're employing only Christians, or the applicants we're looking for should be from a particular religion?
So, the word wrong.
Okay, inappropriate. Is it appropriate? So we're not saying wrong. Is it appropriate for an employer to put it out there that they're looking for Christians or looking for Muslims?
So you made it easier for me.
Okay.
The employer has that right to, can prefer certain religion over others.
Okay.
In putting it out as a strong reason for not employing people, then sits on the borderline of discrimination and all that. And that's not right.
Okay.
The same thing applies to age, sex, and some of those kind of things. You can prefer it to say, because of your position on religion or the kind of work you do or business you do, you would rather certain people of a certain religion. You don't want to step on people's toes.
An employer can play safe by letting everybody come in, and you know who you're taking anyway.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And can
somebody
sue on the ground of if to be discriminated?
So what grounds do you have? what grounds do you have to claim that I did not employ you? Were you as good as someone else that I employed? Because competence is the real issue here. And we're advising that on both the employer and employee side. Don't put religion in front of me. Even if I was your pastor or the leader of your mosque or whatever it is, don't come to me asking me to employ you because you're a member of my congregation. Come on the grounds of competence, right? Then on the employers, we are saying run a diverse work environment. Accept the Muslim, accept the Christian, accept someone who doesn't believe in God, who publicly says he doesn't believe, but he can get the job done.
I know two pastors, and not too long ago, there was I think in 2005 when I was going through my marriage class, and I went to Abuja Meta where they had a Redeem. There's a guy who drives there.
Yes.
He's a Muslim.
Interesting.
And when I heard his name, you know, you meet some people and you think, okay, the guy is Isiaka.
Yes.
Or Ismail. Then he
Yes.
converted
Yes.
to Christianity,
Yes.
but hadn't dropped the name.
Yes.
So I told him, I said, okay, so when did you get born again? He said, born again, Allah Akbar. No, he's still, that is just working.
Yeah.
I said, oh, really? So it meant that they employed him without, it must have been competence then.
Yeah, competence should be the key word. And in the HR world, it's the issue of diversity, we're pushing it real big, but it touches on religion, sex, age, ethnicity, and things like that. So competence should be the right way of watching it.
Now, holidays, Muslim holidays, Christian holidays. I think we get about 10 days of the year.
Yes.
Like Easter just ended now.
Yes.
And I was talking with somebody and the person said, which is why this issue came up.
Okay.
So you had Easter Friday, you have Monday. So all of this eats into this, not to mention national holidays that we then have. So should people still go to work on religious?
I've been part of several discussions around this area, and I think it's high time we accepted it as a country that we have too many public holidays, regardless of religion. I think it's also safe to say that we have a culture that encourages laziness, that encourages people just feeling entitled to take days off. And the bigger issue is for us as a country to encourage the younger generation to see virtue in diligence, to celebrate good work and competence at work. So yes, if you own or run a business or you work in an organization and there's demand to get things done. I know a friend who called me yesterday at 8:30. He was in his place of work because he's going to travel this morning for another 2 weeks. He's not going to be in the office. He will get things done while he's away in Port Harcourt.
But there's
he went. No one asked him to come to work, but his exact phrase was, "I need to go clear my desk to make room for while I'm not going to be around, so my team can function." That should be the attitude, regardless of your religion or even your class, your status in the organization.
I have a friend. Well, he's a lawyer. I had a wedding on Saturday in Ibadan.
Okay.
And said he had to travel on Friday so that he would attend the wedding and then come back. And his driver said he can't make it because they had this night vigil that would take Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So at that point should an employer be considerate on the grounds of religion?
Consideration should be on both sides.
Okay.
So you are an employee, you get paid for doing your job and doing it well. And I think the issue is that we are in an environment where not a lot of people own and run businesses. Because when they do, the thinking is different. You are coming to me saying, well, I won't come to work, I won't do my job because I have to go for a video. I can't go say that to a client. So be considerate on me as well that if you don't work and we don't deliver, I can't pay you, right? And I think at this junction, we also need to speak to leaders of faith-based organizations, churches, mosques, whatever it is, to understand the times and understand the demand of the modern economy. God, yes, serving God is a spiritual thing, but we live in a physical world that has physical demands. People need to get to work and be productive at work. So if it means they need to pray, it doesn't have to be a vigil. If it means they need to study and go through some major spiritual exercise, it doesn't have to stop them from being productive at work. God who created us gave us a brain, and He will have us use it, right? So we are making a plea to leaders to be more understanding with your your church your church followers or wherever it is they are, to allow them to do their job.
Okay. Now, the issue about wearing hijab has been on. There was a lady who refused to wear the normal gown for her graduation in law school. I think she was penalized or something. Okay. At what point should understanding also come in here, that people will be like, okay, because it's your religion, you can
will allow you
wear.
My position is that institutions are stronger, and graduating as a lawyer comes with, you knew that before you chose law as a course of study, and you knew 4 years down the line or 5 years down the line this will be required of you. Even if you must seek some permission, why not do it a lot earlier? Don't wait until that day. Or better still, will you be going through the ritual of convocation and all of that, will it stop you if you just respect the institution and do what it is that is demanded of you, without, say, maybe wearing a hijab and things like that? On the side of the institutions as well, diversity is a very hot subject. I know I'm going back to it. And more institutions are trying to be a bit accommodating to the demands of religion and sex and all of that. But I think the bigger issue here is that for students and employees to respect institutional demands more.
I want to put my director on a tight spot. My director is Muslim.
Interesting.
And you're going to answer me on the headphone before I go on the break. Director, if you're asked to direct a production during Jumat, would you direct it? I'm waiting for my director to answer and don't go on the break. My director said he would direct it. We'll go on the break.
Baba God, now your hand working. Now your hand working. I say, you know easy. To the sing and the dance and the people they rejoice. My brother, my sister, no need today. If we could do a party, make we the tango. Baba God, now your hand working. No be lie. I say no be lie. No be everybody. One sleep for night to wake up, see the light. See the future is bright. I need the enter for eye. Make you do your best. Papa God will handle the rest. Even if you no get money, they jolly they shake body. No need to get your body. If it no be God way, that's some baby dead body. Nobody be no baby. When you fall, you go stand up again. You try him again and again and again. Cause you know easy.
I know easy. You have to double your hustle. So still talking about religion. Yes. I have a friend who was invited to play somewhere, and he said he's a gospel DJ.
Okay.
And so he was invited to play at a birthday. He played the first song, second song, and then I said, "Don't you have whiskey, Davido?" He said, "No, he's a gospel." He said, so they told him that he has to play. He said no. So somebody now brought his iPod and said, "Can you plug this? Let us enjoy our own." So he put it and then went to sit down.
And his money will not be complete, I'm sure.
Oh, it wasn't complete. So the thing is, some other times you have people who have weddings, and they insist that the band must play certain songs, and everybody must dance to it. So my friend Sugar owns the Sugar Band. Akin owns the Sugar Band, and he said that there are certain times that they perform and they're playing, and the people dancing do not care if the song being played is nearly like a gospel song or something, but they still dance on
We
the
all
same.
need God.
We all need God. So, religion has taken a stronghold in this. What about holidays? Lesser Hajj? Because sometimes, like now, they're on Lesser Hajj. Now, would somebody take a break from work? Would it be calculated as part
of your annual leave? Great.
Oh, okay.
As part of your annual leave, great, good doing. I won't stop you. But you wouldn't want to. So what you would then say is people will not touch their annual leave.
Yeah,
no, that's not right. Okay, that's not right. I'm giving you your leave days for the year.
Share it as you want.
Plan around it. I don't. It's your prerogative. But it's just, again, it goes back to that underlining thought of religion gives me an excuse to do whatever it is I need to do, I want to do, even though it doesn't make sense. I think that's the cultural issue that we are really speaking against.
There are cases of people who take religion to the extreme, and when they say, "Oh, this guy is giving us a contract,
yes,
we need to give the person something,"
yes,
and they say, "My religion," maybe the person is an accountant,
yes,
and he says, "My religion does not allow it."
Okay, so yeah, bribe is not accepted. However,
but bribe, kickback, are they the same thing?
I'd rather call it PR.
Okay, PR. Okay.
PR. So you don't give monetary incentives
to people
to cover
okay,
for
incompetence.
Okay. Don't do that. I wouldn't do that. Okay. And I know you well. You wouldn't do that. However, in getting jobs, in running contracts, in running your enterprise, you know the place of maintaining your relationships and finding ways to give incentives to the clients you manage. Mm-hmm. And I know for sure people have that within their cost structure, but not to cover incompetence.
So if you work in an organization and there's something that is being done that is against your religion,
then you have a right
to say,
you have a right to say,
no,
I can't
be part of it.
For this reason, I won't do that. And we have that example. And that's more honorable. Okay. To say, my religion will not accept alcohol, will not accept bribe, will not accept a few things. I wouldn't accept it. And for that reason, I can't.